Hello, everyone. I am meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thank you for tuning in for this episode. We're going to talk about our weather as we head into a huge travel week. Now, right now, we have a little bit of snow on this Sunday night in the northern plains that by Monday morning could cause some inclement weather there. That system will work its way into the Great Lakes over the next couple of days, an exiting system off of the coast of Maine, but another system making landfall out there associated with that big old bomb cyclone we've been talking about for the last few days, bringing more rain to parts of Northern California right through the West Coast. Let's get started right now with a look around the area. Now, this is what it looks like with regards to the snowfall that's going on out there in parts of Minnesota and South Dakota. Here is a look at a image from a DOT camera out there. You're looking at Kent, Minnesota. This is south of the Fargo area, if you will, and look at the flakes flying there. Reduced visibilities and some slippery and slidey roads there. This is on Interstate 94 between Fargo, North Dakota and Minneapolis. So we're starting to see some snow developing there. And another view from another area camera. Whoop, what's this guy say? He says mighty cold air is on the way. So we do have some horizontal flakes flying. Let's get back to that radar. Take you in just a little bit closer to what we have going on here. There is a snow report out in the Big Sky country over the last couple of days near Kalispell. And this is a nice amount of snow for the mountains there. A foot of snow over the last 48 hours. And of that, 4 inches fell today on the 24th. Now there's more snow making its way into the Pacific Northwest. Seattle down south towards Longview, also down towards Aberdeen and down towards Tillamook out here. We do have some rain showers that are heavy, but that changes into snow as we get south of Eugene and parts of Northern California. So the Klamath Falls area there, we're seeing some snow showers showing up and the forecast is looking pretty wet. Let's get to that forecast right now. First, we're going to focus on what's going on in the northern plains and across the nation with a look at the American forecast model, and we'll go ahead and take a look at its prognostication for the next few days for those of you who have any travel plans at all. Okay, here we go. This is again the American forecast model. On the American model here, we're going to focus in on the forecast for snow showers now as we go through the next 24 hours or so in the northern plains. This low pressure system is kind of double barreled, one up here in southern Manitoba that'll be heading its way towards Ontario, but this one driving out of the central plains will take over. It's going to bring a chance for some heavier snow to the upper portions of Michigan, the UP, or northern parts of Wisconsin, also seeing some banding of snow. This will be cold east-northeasterly flow with this. The main forecast thing here over the next several days is going to be Arctic blast cold from this high pressure system you see way up in the upper left-hand corner. Arctic cold high pressure moving in for the holiday travel for much of the nation will really cool things off. Now, as this snowmaker works its way off to the east, we're going to see the chance of snow work its way into the New England states. Again, we'll get the chance for some of these lake effect areas to see lake effect snow. And again, for those of you who are familiar with it, you know what to expect. Whenever we get winds that are prolonged over the top of those clear, ice-free, large bodies of water like Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Ontario, Erie, you get it, any of the Great Lakes. Well, when that length that the air is over the lake is enhanced, it can really add moisture and snow potential just downwind from that. So lake effect snow on the south sides of many of the lakes. And in fact, with an easterly wind up here, we could see some of the eastern portions or eastern coasts of the Great Lakes seeing some significant snow. It becomes all northwesterly as we head into your Wednesday this week and beyond. And then look what's moving in. This date is Wednesday, making its way through Colorado. That's a low pressure system there moving in off the coast. So snowfall will be the greatest chance of that in the mountains of, say, California here in the Sierra Nevada, through parts of Nevada, also through Utah and Colorado, the western half of the state there, as we go out on a westbound on I-70. So that is a look at where we're going to see the early week snow. Now you're looking at Wednesday, a very busy travel day. Wind and snow in the northeast, very cold air punching in, and the cold air moving into the northern plains is going to dive itself all the way down to the south as we go through the week. So snow won't be the main impact. It's going to be some bitter cold that's going to work its way in. Now, if you watch the Colorado system moving out into the plains, that snow is really going to pound places in Colorado with several inches of snowfall. Look at this, south near Pueblo and in the southeast corner of Colorado, that panhandles of both Oklahoma and Texas having a chance at some holiday snow. The time frame on this is Wednesday night and into your Thanksgiving Day. Now, Thanksgiving Day, I want you to take a look at these blue lines here. This is cold air and makes its way all the way from the international border down into parts of Oklahoma. Freezing temperatures will be possible as we go through. Then the weekend after, even colder air, more colder, more nasty, more wind chilly. You can see another set of flakes kicked off by that even colder air mass, kind of a wave of 1, 2, and 3 different cold air masses that will be pushing out of parts of western and central Canada. That will infiltrate most of the Rocky Mountains, but on the eastern plains of the Rocky Mountains. You go over those high hills that are in the Rocky Mountains, and that cold air doesn't make it over the top. Think of this cold air moving out of Canada as molasses. It slides along close to the ground here, and it will slide along the elevated terrain of the Rocky Mountains. Western Wyoming, much warmer. Western Colorado, much warmer. And the plains of eastern Colorado, eastern Wyoming, and all of the central plains, bitter, nasty cold air. So let's take a look at just how cold Hutch is talking about here. The next chance, by the way, of significant snow coming into December with this system working its way out of Canada, as we'll see a more active pattern working its way through the New England states, the north central United States, with the setup we have being cold air, setting up some ice fishing type of weather as well. Here's a look at air temperatures as we go through. Watch the blue area, that edge of the blue right here. That is where we have the freezing line. So you're looking at a time frame here of Tuesday. Freezing air as far south as central Missouri. And then as we go into the Wednesday time frame when people are really getting ready to travel, that ice cold Arctic air makes its way into the Rocky Mountains. And here it goes all the way south into northern Arkansas, Oklahoma, seeing freezing temperatures, kissing Texas as well with some mighty cold air. Now watch where this goes later in the week. We're as far south as northern Georgia, Alabama, as well as Mississippi, all of Kentucky seeing very cold air. And look at these temperatures up here in the northern plains, teens and 20s below zero. The timestamp on this is next Monday. As we go through the date on this is the 2nd of December. So this is after the Thanksgiving Day holiday. The Arctic ice box makes its way in and sticks around for some time. So now let's take a look at some snowfall potential with the systems working their way through. We're going to focus now. I'm going to take a look at another model real quick, and then we'll take a look at the snowfall potential with this European model here as we go out. It's my favorite one for looking at snowfall potential in periods of time more than 3 to 5 days out. So thanks for checking in with Hutch's Weather here. And I got to tell you, we do have a lot to talk about as we go through, but we're just about done. Look at the big system moving out of the Rockies here. This is Wednesday, and the European model has a more robust precipitation event going on in the Ohio River Valley, the southern Great Lakes region, and this is on Wednesday night. Now, if this track takes hold, it could impact air travel and, well, surface travel as well as we go into Thanksgiving Day. This is the morning of Thanksgiving, 6 a.m., and we're talking about some potential for heavy snow in New York, northern PA, heavy rain on the southern parts of those states. The Virginia is seeing some heavy rain as well. And if this European model takes hold, look at this. This is midday on Thanksgiving Day. Here's New York City, very wet. So if there's any parades going on, what is Hutch talking about? I'm talking about that big Macy's Day parade, right? And any activities along the East Coast could greatly be impacted by this. I'll just do one click of the button here back to this American model, and we'll go right back to Thanksgiving Day. Here it is, and this is Thanksgiving Day at the same time, midday, and that storm system is here on the American model. The latitude difference in the track of this low will make all the difference. I will side with the European model or somewhere in between because I think the European model does a little bit better job this far out. All of that said, though, there will be a chance for some inclement weather, being rain, heavy rain, wind, and even the chance for some snow and tricky travel, particularly when we look at that European model. So now let's take a look at the magnitude of the snow event that could impact the coast. And I'm saying could. Please pay attention to your local National Weather Service forecast office on the East Coast, or if you're traveling there, to keep up to date with the latest on that forecast, because they're going to know the details of the terrain effects in your area. I'm an expert here in the Northern Plains and the Rocky Mountain states, but out in the East Coast, I can tell you terrain will play a huge with regards to who sees snow and who sees rain with these systems making their way through. Okay, European model. Storm system. This is Wednesday now. Travel begins to be impacted in Grand Junction and maybe even parts of near Colorado Springs. Most of the snowfall here on this European model staying in the Western Rockies. Then as we go into the late forecast period, here's a look at the holiday travel forecast though, up in places on Thanksgiving Day. Look at this, northern Pennsylvania and New York. Let's zoom in on that area and get some specifics with regards to snowfall potential. This is not Hutch's forecast for how much snow. I call it model guidance for a reason, and this model guidance gives us some guidance to how much moisture is in the atmosphere that could fall. These models notoriously show a much greater area getting heavier snow than we usually see, and oftentimes if we do get some snow that's this heavy where it says 12 inches in New York State, oftentimes it's a much more narrow band, and these models do not do a great job of depicting what you know to be the case when it comes to a lake effect snow event where we can see literally over 50, 70, or 100 inches of snow in just a few days from a lake effect snow machine that sets up. There could be some of that according to this as we go into the weekend just after the Thanksgiving holiday. How much snow are we talking? Okay, much of New York stands to see, let's put it at 4 to 6 inches. A very good chance of that. That's what I would say. It's showing 12 inches widespread. That simply doesn't usually happen. So if we go out towards New York City, Long Island, it looks like rain out there for you folks, okay? So we'll take a look at rainfall amounts in just one moment, but you get into central and the northern portions of New York State and out toward the Great Lakes, Buffalo, Syracuse, and northern PA, these areas could see inordinate amounts of snow. That also includes you folks in New Hampshire, Vermont, all the way up into the great state of Maine. So this could be a wet event, and this is white event. Here you're looking at snowfall amounts. I would say when you look at this, I would raise the caution to 4 to 6 inches of snow likely for many areas if this is indeed the track that it takes. And if it is, we could see some bands that would be even heavier. That's what I would be watching for, and I would pay attention to the forecast moving through. Now, let's take a look at the precipitation amounts for you folks in New York City that might be getting some rain. So this is a look at rainfall. You're going to see rain showing up here in upstate New York as well. What is that? This is when we melt the snow, how much liquid equivalent moisture is going to be in this system as we go through Thanksgiving, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we'll go to Monday. And it's showing rainfall, liquid amounts of moisture upwards of 3 to 4 inches, maybe a little bit more in some of these places just downwind from the Great Lakes. So when you're looking at a downwind from Erie, Ontario, or even up into the shores of Superior, some serious rainfall potential or liquid moisture potential. New York City, 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. That's with this model. Again, same thing goes. Usually we don't see the heaviest of the rain this widespread from these global models because they use a larger scale. The output looks like it's all blown up, and a lot of areas get 2-3 inches of rain or more. That's not usually what we see. So that is a look at a measured opinion of what we're looking at. Now let's take a look at something else that's kind of fun to look at, and that's temperature anomalies. Anomaly is a change from normal, and when we look at this, it can give us an idea of who will really notice big time changes in their weather. Where you see the blue areas, these are areas that have below normal temperatures, and the more purple it gets, the more below average it is. Here's well above average temperatures now as we look into parts of the Central Plains. The cold air kind of sits and spins around the Rocky Mountain West and the Northern Plains, all the way south into parts of Texas as we talked about Thanksgiving Day. This is Thanksgiving Day. Freezing temperatures, well below average temperatures possible in places like Oklahoma and Texas. The warm air almost all squeezed out of the lower 48 states. That cold air slides into the northeastern New England states, mid-Atlantic states, the Virginias as we head into the weekend ahead, Friday and Saturday. And then here comes another Arctic slap in the face, and you're going to notice this one. It's going to kick off another round of snow showers with it, because sometimes when the air gets this cold, you can just burp and it snows 1 inch downwind from you. I mean, this air that's this cold can't hold very much moisture. So indeed, It just literally, you can look up and see stars, and it's snowing outside because even any little moisture in the air just precipitates out as snowflakes. This cold air mass will be working its way from the Dakotas on Sunday, this Sunday, the 1st of December, after the holiday, and it slides right into, ouch, look at this, the Carolinas, Tennessee. That's way below average temperatures for you as we go into the first week of December, and it sits in parks over the mid-Atlantic states with a nice little reprieve in temperatures. And I think we won't be growing anything like palm trees out here in the northern plains, but a little bit of a break from the super duper cold there with some above average temperatures settling in briefly before another wave of Arctic air heads in the second week in December, if you believe it. All right, so that is a look at your forecast. I hope you garnered a lot of information from this. If you did, I would appreciate a like on this video. If you'd like to see more, hit a follow button as well. Let me know what you like, what information that you look for when it comes to these online weather reports. As a broadcaster for the last number of years, I really pride myself in doing my best in trying to pull out the impacts. What are you going to notice most about the weather? Through the holidays, there could be impactful snow moving out of the Central Plains and into the East Coast states. We'll be watching that. Seeing the track will be huge as to who sees snow or if it just is a rain event. And after that, we're looking at more unfun weather as we go through. So I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. It's been a pleasure visiting with you today. And again, you can check out the very latest on my brand spanking new webpage, hutchesweather.com. Anytime, anywhere, no matter when you're there, you can get the latest weather, peruse photos, upload your very own, and say thank you very much for watching Hutch's Weather. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe.